Welcome to the Pittsburgh Nerd podcast vlog. I'm Sean, I'm your host. And it's Saturday. You know what that means. It's the Wrestling Report. And even though it's extraordinarily late, because I had a busy day today, I gotta start recording these the day before. Figuring it out. This is a work in progress, people. I am sorry. But, you know, I said I should have something out on Saturday. I should have it out on Saturday. I should have it ready. You start recording it on Friday for Saturday. I'll work it out. I'm working out the kinks. But anyway, here we are. It's Saturday. It's after a very big week of wrestling, particularly in AEW. WWE had a big show at Madison Square Garden on Friday. That was nice. The big Brock Lesnar thing was cool. I shouldn't poo-poo that. I actually do kind of like the storyline about Paul Heyman. I love Paul Heyman. I'm a Paul Heyman guy. Going back to ECW, even before that, like when he was in AWA, managing the original Midnight Express, and then came to, Crockett Promotions on TBS with the Midnight Express, and he had the feud with Jim Cornette, and then the Samoan SWAT team was part of his stable, and he formed a Dangerous Alliance. Like he did a lot of good stuff as a manager back in the day, and then we all know with ECW what he did. So I've been a fan of Paul Heyman for quite some time, and so this storyline and kind of involving him with he used to be the advocate for Brock Lesnar. And now he's the counsel to Roman Reigns, and kind of the distrust that Roman clearly has. I think they've played that up very nicely. And Paul Heyman, he's a master storyteller. He can make chicken salad out of chicken scratch. And I think I think that what they're doing with Roman against Brock, I think is pretty cool. I think clearly you're setting up for Survivor Series. It was neat that Finn Balor came as the Demon, breaking out that persona again. But deep down, we all know this is not the fight that we're gonna get. Finn will give him a good fight. He'll have a good match, and but he's not winning the title. That's if he's gonna change hands, it's gonna be with Brock at this point, and. So, that's kind of where we're at with WWE. I don't even know what's going on Raw. It's such a mess, I don't even pay attention to it. The Becky Lynch thing is kind of cool. Like, I get, like, you bring her back and you give her the inflated ego and everything. I kind of dig that instead of just bringing her back as the man and just repeating what you've already done. I like she's a bit of a heel now. I hope Bianca Belair gets the match that she deserves. But again, it's funny. Like you look at the WWE roster, and for the amount of content they put out, that roster is so thin anymore. And it's funny because you turn around, you look at the other side, you look at AEW, and that roster is bursting at the seams. And we're gonna get into that in a second. But I think WWE's biggest problem is they need to figure out a way to create stars. They need to figure out a way to create. They've turned Roman Reigns into such a monster on SmackDown that it takes a monster to beat him, and that monster is going to be Brock Lesnar probably. On Raw, it's just so much bad storytelling. But Bobby Lashley's he's a quality champion. I don't want to, Charlotte's Charlotte. She's as good as they come. But at the same time, the fans have kind of grown weary of Charlotte Flair. But the other side, Bobby Lashley's a quality champion, deserves his spot, but I just wish he was getting better stories, But that's WWE right now. In NXT, I think it's going to be a sin. I got a bad feeling about what they're going to be doing with NXT because I understand it's a third brand. It's supposed to be the developmental brand, and they kind of want to go back to that. But at the same time, it was probably the most watchable product they had. And for whatever reason, they've, you know, Vince is just flipping it on his head. And, I mean, to the point that he's given, you know, Triple H a cardiac incident. So, but on to the big week in AEW. And, you know, when you look at the pay-per-view, it kind of went the way that, you know, I thought it would, with Britt Baker retaining and Kenny Omega retaining and the Bucks losing the tag team titles in what was a hell of a match. I don't think it was the greatest cage match ever. I know there are some people that have kind of anointed it that. I don't fall into that category. I think there have been better cage matches over the years that told a better story. You know, Bret Hart and Owen Hart, for one. Snuka Morocco for another. And I don't know if you would count Hell in a Cell as a cage match. I kind of do. So, you know, I would throw in, you know, Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker as probably a better cage match than what we saw from the Bucks and the Lucha Brothers. But at the same time, I'm not going to discount that was an amazing match. It was exactly what I don't want to say it was exactly what I thought it was going to be. Oops. Ahsoka strikes again. But at the same time, you know, it went the direction I thought it was going to go. So, I mean, by, you know, like, you know, the shoe with the thumbtacks on it was fun. You know, the Young Bucks, you knew you were going to get a high quality match based off of the ladder match from 2 years ago. So, you know, the big thing at the end, the reveal of Adam Cole, the big surprise of Adam Cole showing up, the big surprise of, you know, Bryan Danielson showing up, even in the Women's Battle Royal with the Ruby Soho thing, which I'll be honest, I didn't think she was going to be the one to win it. I really thought it was going to be Ty Conti. But I you know, Ruby Soho, formerly Ruby Riott, again, a quality, a known product, a known entity that you can bring in and bolster that women's division. And, you know, it's starting to get on track. You know, there are some talents there. I don't know. I'm guessing Serena Deeb is injured right now. I haven't heard anything. I haven't looked into it though. So I'm sure she's somebody, you know, who bolsters that women's division when she's healthy. I think Chris Statlander's come around. I thought her and Britt Baker had a pretty good match. It wasn't phenomenal, it wasn't great, but it was a pretty good match. I think, you know, Ty Conti has been somebody who has gotten better and better and better every time she gets in the ring. I feel like Statlander's there. You know, Nia Rose is what she is, but she's good at being the beast. I can't think of her name. The former champion that Britt beat. I liked her a lot. So I mean, you know, there are some talents there. Even some of the C-level talent like Diamante. You know, she would be good for a quick feud. So they have some talent on the roster. They have a lot of green talent, a lot of talent that still needs worked. Excuse me. But overall, I like that Ruby Soho's there now, and she bolsters that the women's division, and she's going to give Britt Baker a good match. Getting Baker in position for Thunder Rosa at Full Gear. But you also have, you know, the big reveal of Adam Cole and him immediately aligning himself with the Elite, and Bryan Danielson kind of coming out and helping out the Jurassics and Christian Cage at the end there. You know, when you have big names like this, you always have that outcry of, oh, there's too many WWE guys, and well, they're not growing their own talent. Well, I mean, they are. I mean, you look at, you know, Jungle Boy. I think you look at Darby Allin. You know, MJF clearly. I mean, there are guys that they are grooming to be the future, but you know, when you have guys like Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson on the market, why don't you pick them up? And that's what they did, and they brought them in, and you know, I think Dynamite was even, from a match standpoint, it was okay. You know, the Moxley Suzuki match at the end was fun. You know, there wasn't anything else that really jumped out at you from a match standpoint that made you go. The Hobbs match was pretty good. I liked that. You know, Dante Martin is amazing. You know, but that was a good match for what it was. But I think what AEW did was they pivoted now, and we're moving forward from, here's the fallout from All Out, and that fallout is, you know, Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson. And Bryan Danielson wants to go straight for the title because of who he is, his reputation. And there was a time in pro wrestling where that happened. It's happening now. Brock Lesnar just shows up and is like, yeah, I'm going to fight Roman Reigns. He hasn't fought anybody. How's he get a title shot? But, you know, same thing with Cena. Cena showed up. He hasn't wrestled in how many years? And he gets a title shot. You know, I mean, there was a time where that happened, where a guy showed up in a territory or you know, a company, and, you know, just based upon, oh, look at this, look who it is, it's so-and-so, and, you know, they immediately got a title shot. They were right in line for the championship. AEW, you know, has played it differently, where, you know, records matter. And, you know, you think about it, and guys like Miro didn't get their title shot for quite some time, with the exception of a Ruby Soho winning the you know, the Battle Royal. And I think Brian Cage, he was he got a world title shot the one year. I think it was the ladder match for they had the chip at the top of the ladder. You know, and he fought Moxley, but you know, so there are rare exceptions that, you know, they do have, but those exceptions make sense from the standpoint of, well, you were in this battle royal and you won the shot even though you've never wrestled in the company before. Makes sense. So overall, a lot of guys like Christian Cage, even, like, he was 9-0 or something. He had wrestled 9 matches to put himself in a position to be the #1 contender. So they do things in a way that makes sense, in a way. So I do like that. I like it. They try to. It's not just, well, here's our new big name, we're going to put him right up against the champ. Now, I mean, you can put him in a feud with the Elite. You can put him, you know, circle him with, you know, like Bryan Danielson, you circle him with Christian Cage, and you circle him with Jurassic Express, and now you put them in a feud with the Elite. That's interesting. You know, Adam Cole, Bryan Danielson, that's a great match, or the great feud right there. And you use that to propel Danielson up a little bit further. The problem you run into, though, is you got to kind of get Danielson there quickly, because, again, the thing that we all want is Hangman Adam Page to beat Kenny Omega for the world title. That's what we all want. All of us. That's the story we've been following for 2+ years now. You know, since Adam Page lost to Chris Jericho at the 2019 All Out pay-per-view. You know, the fall of Adam Page, the redemption of Adam Page, and that's where we're at now. Like, you know, we are looking for the redemption of Hangman Adam Page, and that's the match we want. So it's like, it's great that Danielson's here. It's great that they're putting him in a program with Omega and the Elite, but at the same time, I'm kind of looking at it and I'm saying, well, I don't want Bryan Danielson to win the title. I want him to have a match with Omega. I want to see that match. I want it to be a great match. But I don't want him to win the title. I want that to be Hangman Adam Page. Hangman Adam Page has to beat Kenny Omega. That has to be the end of that story. So I'm in a quandary. Like, you look at it and you say, well, Danielson should be the, if you, by your logic, Sean, Danielson should be ready for Kenny Omega come, full gear. And you're right, but I want that to be Adam Page. That's where I want the story to go. I want the story to end. I wanted to end, unfortunately, Adam Page had, his wife's pregnancy kind of coincided, and I understand. I don't blame anybody for Adam Page stepping away. Family comes first, and that's the great thing about AEW. I think if it was been WWE, they would, come on, bud, get you in there. Where I think Adam Page talked to Tony Khan, he talked to Kenny. I'm sure there were a lot of conversations that Adam Page had with the people in AEW about, like, I know we're building to this, but look, I've got to be at home. And everybody agreed. And, I have no doubt when Adam Page comes back, he's going to have to, win a few matches to get back in that title contention again. But, come on, that's what we all want, isn't it? I don't want to see Bryan Danielson beat Kenny Omega. I want to see Hangman Adam Page do it. So, and Rampage. So I mean, like that. But that was the great thing about this. CM Punk putting himself into a feud with Team Taz now. I would love to see CM Punk against Ricky Starks. That'll be a great match. It will. See, Ricky Starks is that good. But Ricky Starks has to finish up with Brian Cage first. I think Powerhouse Hobbs. Here's a young man who's progressing rather nicely. I don't know if he's ready for Punk. I don't know if he's ready for those bright lights. But Powerhouse Hobbs is a guy that when I first saw him, I thought, wow, this guy at some point is going to be somebody. And I'm happy that Tony Khan and company saw that from his dark matches and signed him. Because he deserved it. Like you could see it, and he's a guy that you want to bring in, and maybe you create that loyalty with him, And so again, building your own stars from within, and that's what Dark did during the pandemic. It helped them target people that can be future stars, like Anna Jay, like Powerhouse Hobbs, like the captain. Can't remember his name. Dean, something like that. Dean, I can't remember. But there are guys that are wrestling those dark matches. AEW Dark Elevation. They're getting their reps, and Fuego del Sol is another one. He's more or less popular because of the Sammy Guevara vlog, but at the same time, he used that tool to become popular, to gain the popularity of the fans. He's also a pretty good wrestler. I mean, you watch his matches, like even he does well, as far as how he handles a match and stuff like that. He's young, he's learning, but still it's you can see there's great promise there. So I feel like in the here and now, much like in 2019 when you put the belt on Chris Jericho, because you needed a guy like that to bolster the face of your company. They've done a very good job of who they've picked, for the most part, that gets dropped by WWE, and who they're bringing in to bolster the face of the company. Adam Cole, Bryan Danielson, CM Punk, even Ruby Soho. These are people who have name brand value, but who also give you legitimacy in the here and now while the future is growing. And that future is MJF, Fuego del Sol, Powerhouse Hobbs, Jungle Boy, Darby Allin, guys like that. That's where the future is, and I think that's the great thing that AEW's done, and I think that's the thing that WWE hasn't done and needs to figure out a way to do. And I guess that's what NXT is going to be. So that's it. That's the wrestling report for this week. I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what I think. Because, I don't know anything. Like, I'm not Dave Meltzer. I have no inside connections. I know nobody in the wrestling business whatsoever. I'm just a guy who's giving you his opinion on what he sees. But let me know in the comments what you think about what I think. I'd love to hear it. Remember to hit the subscribe button. Smash that subscribe button. Hit the bell. Make sure you get notices when shows are available. And there you go. So, the Dreamer has awakened.